Hi, we're the Powers family, and welcome to another video of Black History. Today, we are going to look into the life of Ruby Bridges.
Ruby Bridges? Oh, yeah, Ruby.
Right. Well, she was born on September the 8th, 1954, and she was the oldest of 5 children from her mother, Lucille, and father, Abon Bridges, who were farmers in Tylertown, Mississippi. When Ruby was 2 years old, her parents moved their family to New Orleans, Louisiana, in search of better work opportunities.
You know what I noticed about Ruby's birth year? It was the same year of the U.S. Supreme Court's landmark ruling in Brown versus the Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas. This was the ruling that ended racial segregation in public schools.
You're right. But Southern schools continue to resist integration. Look, in 1959, Ruby attended a segregated New Orleans kindergarten. It wasn't until a year later when finally a federal court ordered Louisiana to desegregate.
But if it isn't one thing, it's another. The school district created entrance exams for African American students to see whether they could compete academically at the all-white school. Ruby and 5 other students passed the exam.
That's right. Her parents were torn about whether to let her attend the all-white William Frantz Elementary School. It was just a few blocks from their home. Her father actually resisted. He feared for his daughter's safety. Her mother, however, wanted Ruby to have the educational opportunities that her parents had been denied.
Yes. The school district dragged their feet, delaying her admittance until November 14th. 2 of the other students decided not to leave their school at all, and by that time, the other 3 students went to all-white McDonough Elementary School.
That's right. Ruby and her mother were escorted by 4 federal marshals to the school every day that year. She walked past crowds screaming vicious slurs at her. It is said the test was written to be especially difficult so that the students would actually have a very hard time passing. The idea was that if all the African American children failed the test, New Orleans might be able to stay segregated for just a little while longer. Undeterred, she later said that she only became frightened when she saw a woman holding a black baby doll in a coffin.
Wow.
She spent her first day in the principal's office due to all of the chaos created as angry white parents pulled their children from school. And the segregationalists even withdrew their children permanently. Barbara Henry, a white Boston native, was the only teacher willing to accept Ruby, and all year she was a class of 1. Mm-hmm. Ruby ate lunch alone and sometimes played with her teacher at recess, but she never missed a day of school that year.
Wow. While some families supported her bravery and some Northerners sent money to aid her family, others protested throughout the city. The Bridges family suffered for their courage. Mm-hmm. Abon lost his job, and grocery stores refused to sell to Lucille. Her sharecropping grandparents were evicted from the farm where they had lived for a quarter century. Over time, other African American students would be enrolled, and many years later, Ruby's 4 nieces would also attend.
That's right. Ruby graduated from a desegregated high school. She became a travel agent. She got married and had 4 sons. She was later reunited with her first teacher, Miss Henry, in the mid-1990s, and for a long time, the pair did speaking engagements together. Mm-hmm. Ruby later wrote about her early experiences in 2 books and received the Carter G. Woodson Book Award.
Yeah. She is a lifelong activist for racial equality. In 1999, Ruby established the Ruby Bridges Foundation to promote tolerance and create change through education. In 2000, she was made an honorary deputy marshal in a ceremony in Washington, D.C., and in 2001, Ruby received the Presidential Citizens Medal.
Yes, Ruby Bridges is still alive today, working to fight for racial equality through her foundation.
And she's done so much just at the age of 60.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder who will be featured on the next video. I hope they are as brave and determined as Ruby Bridges.
All right, yeah.
Bye. Bye.